The best music for hard-working people. Get the job done with Radio.
And now your featured presentation.
Hey there, rockers! Welcome to Bands, the Good, Bad, and the Ugly with Dr. Dog on the show where we get real about the ups and downs of band life. Your host, Dr. Dog, is locked and loaded. So let's do this.
Here's Week 13 with Sex Pest.
They're gonna tie you up with your permission again. Get on your knees for me and let the loving begin. Get on your knees for me and let the loving begin. Why do you worship greed? It's all around we go. We're lulled into a trance and made indifferent. You're the next best sex. You're the best dressed sex. You're the next best sex. You're the sex pest. Venom is on their lips, they have control over you. Everything you know of the media and the news. We fight amongst ourselves and give up human rights. They beat off our cold hearts and promise you a good life. You're the next best sex. You're the best dressed sex. You're the next best sex. You're the sex pest. You're the next best sex. You're the best dressed sex. You're the next best sex. You're the sex pest. Keep going, carry on. 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 You're the next best. You're the best dressed. Now by now you should have guessed. The song's not about. You're the next best sex. You're the best dressed.
Dog here, welcoming you to Bands. The good, bad, and the ugly. Bringing you the ins and outs, ups and downs of band life. So let's get to it. Let's rock and roll.
So, how do you get your inspiration for your songs? I mean, your creativity. How does that come?
Oh, I've just got an app on my phone, and I just press. It says creativity ideas, and it does it all for me.
Holy shit!
I think I will spend as long as I need to on an idea. I've got some songs which were written in say good 2 or 3 weeks, where I spend a good time thinking about them, and then I think about, well, what do I want people to see? Because once you've got this song, it's like that's a song I've written, that's a song I've recorded. Oh, imagine if I saw something. You think of all the obvious things at first, like, so you write a rock song and you kind of go, wow, what if we were all like dressed like rockers and playing rock? That would make sense. You go, yeah, or we could just get big fat suits. Just, oh, that's a good idea. And this is you start thinking, actually, it's almost like, what's the worst thing we could put on the visuals to make this song sound better? And there's no right or wrong. I think I just make music to have fun. So if I'm writing a really serious song, and people are probably thinking, when was this? It's probably the future. But let's say there'll be a song in the future that's very serious, that means a lot to me. I will probably treat the music video with a lot of sensitivity. And if I want to make people cry, I will do my best. If I want to make them happy, I will make sure they're shedding tears of joy. I think that's the power of film. So I do like to make sure people have a laugh, but there comes a time where you need to be thinking more, and that's where we get the other side of entertainment. I don't want to go miserable on people or sad, but sometimes we got to do something which makes people very emotional, and that will come. And people on this Week 13 train will see that with each release, but not for the next one.
Well, I was going to say that you want your songs and your videos to evoke that emotion in people. I mean, you want them to feel something when they hear it and listen to it. You just don't want them to say, yeah, that was a song. I mean, you want them to feel something, and everybody's going to feel something a little different. I mean, I'm gonna interpret it a little different than the guy next to me or the chick down the street or something, as far as the meaning or the how it makes me feel personally, and that's the coolest thing about music and your music, because you really put a lot of thought into what it's saying and what you want it to say and how people are going to react to it and what they're going to think. And the coolest thing is that, again, the interpretation by people is going to be so different. It's not going to be just black and white. Oh, it's about a popsicle and, this and that. I mean, it's black and white. No, it takes you on a journey of different emotions and feelings. And that's what to me is all about music and video and film. And, it's to evoke that, not walk out of a theater going, that was the most dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. Or, or I fell asleep halfway through it, so, it's something that you want to have intriguing and really spark something when you walk out going, fuck yeah, I'm thinking about that shit. Or you think about it the next day about what's been said or seen. And that's the cool thing. So,
and it can be something which is like visually like shocking,
or
a line or something catchy. But I, like you said about making people think and not fall asleep. It's very easy to make people fall asleep.
Yes,
I could just talk about Ed Sheeran songs, and sing Ed Sheeran lyrics in the same voice and wear an Ed Sheeran mask, be Ed Sheeran, and you would fall asleep just like that. Paint myself ginger, just to make it even more dreary and miserable. Yeah.
Oh,
Thankfully, I'm Mr. Ed Sheeran.
oh my God! But
I saw this sign saying someone created Ed Sheeran AI. But I misread that. When it said Ed Sheeran AI, I thought it said Ed Sheeran. I was more interested in that than AI.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I believe you stick out and your music sticks out and your video sticks out, because a lot of times
I'm a man.
it does. It probably makes somebody fucking tucker up their butt when they see some of the videos, but it catches them. It catches the attention, dude, and that's the main thing. And a lot of they lose sight of that. They lose sight of how to keep themselves out there and promote and make people, whether laugh, get angry, be happy, think the video is shit. They think it's good. But, even the ones that say that was a shitty video, you know what? They keep talking about it. So obviously it wasn't that shitty because you keep talking about it. So why do you keep talking about it?
I think if you're going to make a shit video, make the worst one. Because if you're going to do something bad, like it's so bad, they have to watch it again because they can't believe what they've just seen. I've almost given away my next music video.
Here's Weak 13 and Down on Me.
Rebels
So tell me about your other relationships with other indie artists. I mean, do you have good relationships with other indies, or is it the same thing as like good, bad, and ugly?
I've got some very good close friends that just happen to be indie artists. Here's something I'm going to just throw out there. I've got some people I've known from my high school days that I'm not as close as I am with some of the artists that I've gigged with, recorded with. I've actually funded things for other bands. There's friends of mine who are in bands and they've been stuck. And I'll say, oh, we can't do much at the moment. We're going for a hard time. And I'm not going to actually say this or who they are because it's finding embarrassing. But I just gave them some money. I said, here, spend it on your band. And or spend this on radio promotion. Here's a PR guy. He does radio PR. I'm going to give you a couple £100, and he's going to contact you. He's going to promote your single. I've done that where I felt like an artist they've had a really good tune, and they're a good friend of mine, and you want to help them out. So I thought, well, they can't afford to spend money on it. I'm having a good week. I've got a bit of money this week. What if instead of spending it on me, I spend it on my friends? And I've done that a few times. I don't want to name names because A, it makes me look like a god. B, I just think it'd probably be a bit embarrassing if somebody. I mean, I'm sure they're like, thanks, Nick, but I'm not going to mention the names of each particular band.
No, and I wouldn't ask you to do that, dude. And but I think every band, and including yourself and Weak 13, has gone through trials and tribulations of financial or whatever. I mean, that's just, it happens. I mean, and so,
yeah.
But you're right. It could be like, well, a little embarrassing, but you know what? That's part of the game. And when you have somebody like you that believes enough into you to say, hey, take this money and go promote yourselves, that shows, your lack of selfishness as far as saying, hey, I could spend it on myself. I could put it in my own promotion. I could put it towards my own stuff, but I'm going to help you out because you're a friend. I believe in your stuff and you need it. And that, again, Nick, is something that doesn't happen very often because everybody's out there for themselves. And it's almost like
you've got to be for other people because otherwise you're going to be very lonely. Yeah.
Well, you do, but a lot of bands don't think that. It's like everybody's in the bottom of a swimming pool and they're all trying to claw themselves way up to the very top to get air, and you're just clawing on top of each other, and they don't care. And that's the sad thing is that if you're an artist and a musician, and I don't care what genre you do and what genre somebody else does, you should be there to support them and help them if you can. I mean, maybe a lot of people are like, I don't have the money, but you know what? I'll support you in every way I can. That's support. Some people say, hey, I got the money here, take it and go do what you need to do with it. But support is support.
People that can do like support. To some people, it doesn't mean much because it's not a money thing. I think support is a wonderful gift. If anyone gives you support, you should be grateful. I'm very grateful for support you've shown.
Oh, yes.
Me. A lot of other people I'm very lucky to have in my life because they've had faith in what I'm doing. Sometimes support can. I'm not a very rich person, but sometimes I've gone, well, I'm okay for food this month, and I'm going to make sure that whereas another artist I know isn't in a situation to be able to do something, I could do some good for them. And you can't be just thinking like a battle of the bands, because if you're being competitive, you could watch someone just die. That's that doesn't sound fun to me. Now, that sounds quite morbid. If you were a witness,
Yeah.
witnessing to someone's career just dying, and you had the power to do something about it, and you just stood back with your arms folded. Actually, like a few friends from my high school, that is, but like, but just stood back and watched him die, and let him die. But just, if I can offer some aid. Sometimes advice helps. Even sometimes like a phone call. If someone's having a tough time, I say, do you want a phone call? I remember there's a few. Again, I'm not going to mention names in case it embarrasses them. There was some band that had all their gear nicked, and they were devastated. And I don't think they'll mind me saying this because it won't give away who it is. I said to them a story, something that happened to me. The first time I got into a newspaper was because of my band. And the band that I'd spoken to that had just had their gear nicked, I said, can I give you a phone call? And when I called them, I said, the first time I got into a newspaper was because my band had their gear stolen. And we had someone break into the back of a car, and we had a PA that was worth about, at the time, £600, which back then was a lot more than what it is now. And they smashed the window, saw the PA. It was after a gig. We just were too lazy to unpack the car. And somebody went past late at night, saw it in the back of the car, smashed it, took it out. Well, I said to this band, I goes, what we did is, and this was kind of by accident, is someone said, have you told the news? I was like, the news? It's like, yeah, well, it's a crime, isn't it? I guess so. What were you going to do? Well, I'm probably going to do a mini tour. So they've cancelled your mini tour? I was like, yeah. So there's one newspaper. I ended up calling them, and I said, yeah, we had to cancel a UK tour because we're in the UK. I kind of exaggerated, but we've probably only gone about 50 miles. And I said, yeah, cancel a UK tour. And next thing you know, 3 or 4 of the newspapers started messing. They all wanted to know about this crime of the century when it happened. And we got on the front page of one newspaper, and I realised we probably had about £30,000 worth in free advertising. And as I said to this band, he goes, I know you're feeling pretty bad. You just had your gear nicked. But do you know how much money you can make in advertising? And sometimes, you go, you can't. Doesn't matter how bad a situation is, you've got to see the positive in it. And I said this to him, and I think they did one of those Facebook sponsored posts to say what happened, and it just went viral. Really helped him out.
See, and that's
sometimes the positive thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. What do you think are the unspoken challenges that bands face behind the scenes that people really don't see or know about?
Unspoken. Well, that's a tricky one. I'll tell you why. There's things that musicians don't like to admit. There's things that musicians like to say. The one thing they like to say is it doesn't matter if there's a problem or if things are going bad for them, but you always get one go, there's no money in the fucking music industry. There's no money. We had to eat potato last week. That was our reward. There's no money in music. And it's like, fuck off. Because what's this fucking money in music? I think some people see money as the be-all and end-all. And don't get me wrong, it's very important when you make money in music. But I think for people to say there's no money in music is one of the biggest lies in the music industry. It's like it's almost like somebody created that lie to hide the fact that there are so many people making money. Now, here's the other part of that. Some, or rather a large part of the people that make their money in music are motherfuckers. And you've probably had a message from one of those motherfuckers. And they probably work in PR. And they'll offer you the world.
Introducing Nap Time, the latest, most effective tool for child tantrum prevention.
They'll say, Doctor, you know you've got MM radio. What if I could tell you that for $1,200 to start with, we can make M&M radio bigger than BBC World Service? We can do that every month at half the price. Discount 10%. You know, they'll offer you some bullshit fucking thing. And I'm going to go into what this means, but when people are at their lowest, they usually get these messages. At least that's what they think. Because if you've got loads of people in marketing and advertising asking you, do you want to pay for our services? The chances are you're probably doing something pretty good. Because for them to notice you in the first place means you must be doing something that's worth noticing. Otherwise, how the fuck are you even getting these messages?
Right.
That's the unspoken thing. Bands thinking they're doing shit, when in reality, they're getting all these spammed messages from people saying, bro, need beats. Bro, need beats. $2, bro. Need beats. Yeah, and you read, fucking hell, he said this 10 times. He must be pretty adamant, this man. To earn his $2, yeah, he must be really adamant. So this is one of the unspoken things. I think bands do better than they believe. And there's this thing about, oh, nobody knows what we're doing. You know what? A lot of people know what you're doing. And a lot of us people work in advertising. People that work in advertising are some of the biggest motherfucking thieves on earth. Because you're a tiny band, if you believe it's tiny, somebody in advertising will go, oh, that band's shit, but that logo is really good. We should use that and incorporate that in our new advertising campaign for Starbucks. And they'll just like, whoa, that looks like our brand logo. Yeah, but that's Starbucks. Starbucks wouldn't do that. We're nothing. Of course you are. Of course you're nothing. No one says what you do. And the reason why I know that story is true is because it happened to me. And I've got to be careful legally how I word this. But the son of one of the richest musicians on the planet stole one of my band's ideas almost about 18 years ago. It backfired on them, but I was there thinking I was this tiny musician, and I thought, hang on, if the son of one of the world's richest musicians, who was probably the best education money can buy, is pinching my idea, then either he's really shit, which I'm sure he's good. Well, that's another story. But I must have been big enough to steal from.
Or good enough.
And that's the thing, you see, so all these people convinced, and this is the unspoken thing, all these people convinced they're nothing are doing better than they think. All I've got to do is protect their ideas. Some of the ways I protect my ideas, I had a song called Sex Pest. And the reason why I call it Sex Pest is like, who's going to be dumb enough to nick that song title? It's the last thing you want. Yeah, the song got a lot of attention. But it actually wasn't about sex, actually. It was about media and how they sexualize headlines. But I suddenly thought, I don't want anybody to steal the song title. So I'm going to call it Sex Pest. And it's the thing, it got a lot of attention. But nobody nicked that idea. And nobody nicked that idea because A, it's crazy, but it's an idea that's working. So sometimes you've got to be a little crazy to protect your ideas. So the unspoken thing is there's a lot of thieving in the music industry.
So you said it happened to you. So do I take it that you were paying for promotions and they were just jacking you, or?
Oh no, this was worse than that. I was at the time years ago like a bedroom musician. Saw one of my ideas in a different country turn up, and I was like, "That's my idea." And I'm going to say this very carefully. Thanks to a journalist who worked at Rolling Stone, he saw through this idea. Although he didn't name me, he humiliated the musician.
Good.
Because he basically said this is like a kind of a song which has been it's like they've got bits of other people's ideas and stuck into one song. I thought, yeah, that sounds like what they've done. And because he put that in print, he humiliated the artist. This artist's career did start going down for stealing. So although I didn't get my recognition for my idea, I'm kind of glad it backfired him trying to steal it.
Well, karma, dude. Karma comes back around. So, if you're a snake in the grass, somebody's going to chop your head off. Our next song from Week 13 is You Don't Love Me.
I'm on my own, miles away.
So should upcoming artists and pay to have their music promoted? Is that the way it works when you're first starting off, or is it you're trying to find it the free promotions or both or what?
Well, let's look at this logically. When a band is first started, let's say this is a hypothetical 5-piece band. So we have 5 human beings that barely know each other, that have just met probably and formed the band. Maybe they're at high school. Chances are they're still learning how the world works. They probably haven't got round to even get some kind of qualification for business or anything like that. And this is technically a small business they're starting. So first of all, but they're interested in, we want to do star jumps. We want to possibly, I don't know, have some pyrotechnics go off and play some rock and roll and wear some scary masks and have a lot of fun. And then it gets to a point where you've got to do something like sell tickets. And then it becomes real. It's people paying to come and see you. And when you've got to sell a CD, it's like if anything, let's say this 5-piece band, if only one person in the band was doing all the work, then you're only going to get like 20% of what could be 100%. Now, if that 20%'s doing all right for the band, the other 80% could just fold their arms and go, well, it seems fine without us doing anything. So we'll just let that 20% to the whatever he's doing. It's working. But then you kind of go, well, hang on, if we all did what I'm doing, we'd be 100% and 5 times bigger than what we are now. Well, that's going to take a bit of dedication. You see where the conversation, this is more about trust, really. Mm-hmm. So it's not actually about should bands pay for each other. It should bands trust each other to work together to make something happen. Because here's that thing, that person that's doing the 20%, he's getting a bit pissed, or he or she is getting pissed off for doing all the work. So what they do is like, I need to delegate this work so I can get back to playing my guitar. And they'll find a PR company and go, hey, Mr. PR company, if I give you some money, can you promote this gig for me? Because I want to practice playing my guitar or stuff like that. And they'll go, yes, for lots of cash. Give us lots of cash, more cash than you've got. Well, that's a bit much. Well, yeah, we'll have whatever you got.
We'll take whatever you got.
It's kind of, hey, other members, I've just found this company called Rip Off PR, and they're saying for $100 they'll promote our gig for 3 days next week, and it'll be really good. I go, oh, I'm not paying $2. No, I didn't say $2. I meant $20. Oh, I wouldn't pay $1. Okay, well, you pay 50 cents. We'll have to see. We'll have to have a band meeting first. We'll have the band meeting, and eventually every band member donates 50 cents. And so, what we got? Well, we got that $2. We'll get us fuck all. So, I think we all need to start trusting each other. So, okay, so let's say that the band all trust each other. We're going to each give $20 each to give some total strangers $100. And for 3 days, they're going to promote our gig. And then you go, yes. And then you go, we've sent you the money. Have you got the money? Yes, you got your money. Thank you. Great. How's everything going? We'll let you know when we have results. Great. What's the action? What's the plan? We plan on telling you when we have results. That's not a plan. Okay, we'll message you in 3 days' time. Yeah, 3 days. That's when our gig's in 4 days. So you're promoting this for 3 days, right? Yes, we will tell you in 3 days' time. It's like the day before the gig. And he goes, unfortunately, due to admin costs, you didn't have enough money to pay for the promotion you're after. but we have spent your money anyway. So the gig won't be promoted. And then the band get pissed off because we've spent $100 on nothing. And what have we got to show for it? Oh, you know what? We should have done this ourselves. Hang on. I said that at the beginning. I missed it 20% here. You motherfuckers would have all each done something like I did. So this is when you're a high school band.
Yeah.
And you haven't worked out that there's like serial killers and rapists out there. People that work at McDonald's that are actual pre-offenders. You're flirting around with somebody, I don't know, on a phone call for like a hotline, and you realise that actually might be some kind of pedophilia word. You're like, I'll give you $5 because you're so naive, you know nothing about the world. So if you work in advertising, then people in young bands are natural targets.
Oh yeah.
So you just have a big, massive bullseye on the phone. These sort of advertising archers just to fire like darts at them and arrows and just take their money. Yeah.
They do, dude, and that's the saddest thing. I mean, it pisses me off to the point where it's like these guys are trying to do something creative. They're trying to do something and put something out there, and all you guys are doing is taking their money and promising the rainbow, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but the end of the rainbow never comes. The pot of gold's never found. So it's just sad.
They want $100. That's all it is, right? So imagine the band wants advertising. The advertisers, they want $100. Now, when they get the $100, they've got the $100. They will lie and promise anything so they can get the $100. Meanwhile, the band that's got hardly any money is thinking, oh, well, we're working for Global Media Incorporated. Like, well, they've got to no, they want $100.
That's all they want. They want $100. That's all they want.
You just give it to them. So, but there are some people through trial and error that do have some good results. And I think the companies that charge the least, if you actually looked at the big picture, I know there's big, massive entertainment corporations that have PR people that work with millions of dollars, and they've got like bigger shit. They do the things like billboards and that kind of shit. But like when you actually look through your book and you see a young PR company that's hungry but has a good track record, because that is the one thing about social media. You can see who's actually engaged with them. And if they've got a good repertoire, a good history, a good CV. People not bots, but people are saying good stuff. And you'll probably get the one band that goes, oh, you fucking shit you are. I sent you $2, you told me to fuck off. Like some of these companies just started off, they want to do something in PR, and I find the smaller ones that aren't charging the most, charging something fairly reasonable, because if they're going to spend 20 hours a week, and they charge like, I don't know, $65, something like that, and you work out what's that? Is that $3 an hour? That's fuck all. So you go, well, if I spent that much time on my band, I'd probably ask for more than $3 an hour. Yeah. So you kind of weigh it up. Yeah. You could spend $20,000, but I don't think you're going to get that as many. You're not going to look back at that and go, wow, we've had almost 20,000 worth of hours. You know, you probably got someone do minimum work, because unfortunately, the more you pay a lot of these people, the less results you get. You might get some good results, but you probably don't get your money's worth. They're more like gatekeepers. and you pay them to do something, and they can do that thing, but that's all they're prepared to do. So I'm not even trying to demonize PR. PR is a necessary thing, but there are people in this industry that know the young high school bands were so naive, we can get $100 from them.
Yes. No, I agree. I mean, I see it all the time, and I hear about it all the time, and that's the sad thing is there's always a band out there willing to give them money, and in the hopes, and like you said, they're sitting there going, oh, this is great, we're this, we're that, we're going to be played here, we're going to be played there. But in reality, it's just more about them getting the money from them than anything else. So
this is what, at that age, if you're in a young band, because your question was about advice for young musicians as well, one of your earlier questions. And when you're so young, you without being rude, you're very naive, and that's not like a rude thing to say. It's just the truth. There's a lot of, I mean, Christ, some of these bands, there's people in these bands that've never seen a working vagina.
Mary, the baby doesn't come out of your navel. Let me tell you how it is. There's a special opening just in front of the place where you have your BM.
Their entire life, they've just got their evidence from like Pornhub, sort of talent information, and the one member, choosing the drummer, the one person in the band that seems a bit cocky, so like, yeah, you've seen a vagina. So they're still working out the basics yet. They haven't become alcoholics yet. They tend to kind of, oh, I'm going to buy that T-shirt because it says Jack Daniels, and someone will go, that's a really cool T-shirt. Somebody else will go, are you an alcoholic? What? I'm 17. 17-year-olds can be alcoholics too. Not yet, but you will be. You're still trying to work out the world yet. So they are, like I said, a bigger target to a lot of the evils in the music industry.
Headbang to this one by Weak 13 called I'm More Metal Than You. Dude, phenomenal, man. Phenomenal song. Is that one of your favorites?
It was one of the most fun because what I did is I wrote the song in about a week, and it was designed to be the most metalist thing ever for a laugh. But a lot of the lyrics are the most unmetal lyrics I can think of. Like the word Christmas isn't a metal kind of word. I don't think Pantera ever said the word Christmas. Or the word pajamas. And if I can make pajamas metal, but not only metal, more metal than anybody else, then job done.
That's right. Job well done. Job well done. So, any lessons, Nick, that you've learned? And I know this is kind of a dumb question because I know you've got it, but any lessons that you've learned the hard way that you really want to pass on to the upcoming artists? And I know we've talked about PR and stuff, but any other lesson that you believe is the most important bit of advice that you could give somebody in general, what would it be?
Well, I'll make it fairly short. When I was younger, I used to have when I first joined the band, I'd have an idea for something, and either the other band members at the time weren't interested in it, and it got shoved to the back. And I was fine with that because at the time I was young, and I was thinking, well, this is my first time in the band. But that idea stuck with me and became another song 20 years later. The song was done very well for me. And there was a guy called Liam who is a guitar teacher. And where I work in a rehearsal studio as well, his guitar students turn up. And one of his guitar students said that I'd given him one of the best pieces of advice ever. And I was like, shit, what was that? Fuck, what was it? Because what you said to me, Nick, was I told you, Nick, that I had an idea for something and like a guitar riff, and I've had this idea for a song for 6 years. I'm still trying to do something with it. And I turned around to him, I said, well, the thing is, if you've got a guitar riff that you're still working on and you've remembered that for 5 years, chances are that's got to be some guitar riff. It's just it's so good, you haven't worked out where to put it. Because if it was a shit guitar riff, you'd have forgotten it.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
I've forgotten loads of shit guitar riffs. I forgot them all. That's it. Bye. Yeah. If you've got one, and it can be like, say, even fucking hell, 10 years, and it's like you're battering your head thinking, still not finished yet, and it needs more salt, or something like that. And the reality is, maybe that's a really good chorus, but you haven't worked out the best verse for it. And it could be something similar like that, but it will become a song one day.
Yes.
And I'd say to any young musician, my best advice is believe in those ideas, even if they don't happen straight away. Don't think to yourself, oh, they're a waste of time. There's a friend of mine recently, she's when she first came out, she released a song, but she wasn't very big at the time. And about 10 years later, I've seen her do another version of that same song. And to people around her, they've heard it for the first time. And because they've heard that for the first time now, they go, oh, wow, you're a genius. Now, I'm sure she would have loved to have heard that 10 years ago, but it wasn't the right time. And that's the thing. Sometimes there's a time and a place. So have faith in those ideas. Don't give up on them. I'm not trying to sound like obnoxious, inspirational quotes scribbled on someone's wall. You know, there's just things like, be good and good luck to you. Oh, that's bollocks. I don't mean one of those things. This is like, we're talking reality here.
Yes.
If you've got an idea that good, you can't forget. It's got to be good for a reason.
No, and again, I agree 100%, dude. I mean, it's there in your head for a reason. It sticks around for a reason. And again, I've talked to artists that say, "Hey, I've been working on a song for 15 years or 10 years, and now it's just coming around." And the timing of a song being released is also just as important. And just like you said, the 10 years later, she re-records it, and it's a hit versus 10 years ago where it wasn't. So, and again, it's the people are fickle about what they want to hear. And it's like, you've got to get into that groove, but keep your own personalities and your own commitments, but get into that groove where people can hear you and listen to you and get to know you better. But, I know with the indie artists, it's hard at times. It's really hard. Like you said at the very beginning, it's a battle. It's an uphill climb. I mean, and I think one of the biggest things that you said, which I hope, again, the listeners and the starting bands and the new bands and the upcoming bands, is that you all have to work together while promoting your band. If you got one person, and they're doing all the work, well, and they're getting someplace. Think about if 3 or 4 other ones would join in, where they would actually end up being, if everybody would help out. But a lot of times, like you said, it's all put on one person. It's like, well, he's got the time, or he can do it, or he's better than me at doing it. Well, no, everybody can find something to do to help promote the band, and they should, because it's your band.
People always have a reason to not do things. Yeah, I've never known anybody not do something without a fantastic reason.
Oh yeah.
And the fantastic reason is, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm taking my missus to the cinema," or "Oh, I'm sorry, but I don't know, it's a bit wet out there." What? But this is our history. We're going to make history. Well, yeah, I'm sorry, but the garden needs cutting. I mean, it's like, what are you prepared to do? And not everybody can be a musketeer.
No.
As much as we like to go, I got this big picture of 4 or 5 people doing this massive star jump at the same time, going, "We are rock and roll." Yeah, I'm sure you all are.
Oh, here's the new single, "Go Away" by Weak13.
Call me
So we're back, Nick, and I want to ask you: is there any closing statements, no matter what they are, okay, that you would like to make?
Other than if you're new to this band, it'll grow on you. Just don't worry about it. Just enjoy it.
That's probably the best advice I've heard. You know, just enjoy it. You know, don't overthink it. Don't dissect it. Just enjoy it. So, Nick, give the listeners out there your web information of where they can find your band's music, your videos, all the news going on, your streaming platforms, music, merchandise.
Well, the band is spelled WEAK13. That's all one word. We're on Facebook, which I believe is facebook.com/Weak13Music. No, actually, I've got that wrong. It's Weak13 fan page. I don't even know my own Facebook page. So rather than listen to me, just type WEAK13 into a Google search engine and you'll find all the Instagrams, the TikToks, and the other things that I can't spell. But if you do find me on my personal Facebook, which is Nick J. Townsend, and I use the name Nick J. Townsend because it's 13 letters. So I will remain Nick J. Townsend because there are a few other Nick Townsends who aren't rock stars. One of them is a very bad football player. And I don't like getting messages from his fans. I think he's really let himself go. So, yes, if you go on YouTube, we've got music videos on there. The record label, Slip Trick Records. If you go on their YouTube page and the main site, you'll see our videos on there. But we're like any other band. We're on all the social media platforms. We're on all the music streaming platforms. Your support, and when I say the word support, that means actually getting those ears, pointing them towards an ear pod, sticking it in your ear, and then whatever it's attached to, be it an MP3 player, a laptop, or your best friend's mate, just type Weak13 into it and listen to the music.
You heard that, guys. Weak13. And on our YouTube video of the interview, there will be all of Weak13's and Nick's information posted. So that'll be there for you guys to see, and it'll also be posted throughout Facebook and other social medias on how you can find Weak13 and Nick's music and videos. And I'll tell you what, it's something that the doctor definitely prescribes that you do, because you won't be disappointed. I mean, it's definitely a breath of fresh air of music. Nick and Weak13 have their unique sound that's it's definitely refreshing and welcoming back to the music industry. And you know, I hope you guys have paid attention to what Nick has said, because some of the information and advice and knowledge he's given today is it's priceless, guys. I mean, if you don't listen to anybody, listen to Nick. As far as what
I feel like I'm Mulder from the X-Files. Because if you want to know what's really happening out there, listen to the dog.
But you know, it's just been an honor and a pleasure, Nick, having you on the show, dude. And you know, the dog's going to have you back again. And I look forward to it, number one, because there's so many different subjects and topics other than just the good, the bad, and the ugly of band life, and what you end up with. But there's so many different subjects that we can talk about that I believe that the listeners and would just, I mean, be enthralled to hear. I mean, as I hear you talk, I just sit there and it's like, damn, you have so much to offer. So Nick, I want to say thank you so much for joining the doctor on his show.
I'll be happy to, next time I return, to bring a little Harlequin dog bowl for you. And then you can have as much fun, sit with Nick and be the dog, and have as much fun as you want, because I've had so much fun today. Thank you for inviting me onto your show. And MM Radio and everybody you're affiliated with, I really appreciate the time. It's been wonderful.
Nick, it's been an honor to have such a legend like Nick Townsend and Weak13 on my show, especially my premiere show. So again, Nick, this has been something I've been looking forward to for weeks, dude. And it's been great, you know, and I want to thank you and Week 13. I want to thank Dogbone Studio, Radio, Magpie Sally. Thanks, guys. Keep listening. Keep rocking. Dr. Dog and Nick Townsend is out.
Beware of a dog.
Otis, get ready. Here's Week 13 with Sitting on Dock of the Bay.
I've got to do a better version. Bye!
The good, bad, and the ugly with Dr. Dog. On MMIMM, the show where we get real about the ups and downs of band life.
To infinity and tastiness with MM Radio.